Sound of Freedom. Amazing movie. Tons of people have seen it. Over 15 million people have seen it. It's grossed over $100 million in the domestic box office, not to mention international box offices. And it's just been a huge success. And I'd like to share my 3 takeaways with you, whether you've seen the movie, and I'd love to hear your takeaways, or if you haven't seen it, and this is an invitation to go and see it. It's highly, highly recommended. When I first watched the trailers, I thought that it was going to be like a horror movie or tons of blood or just horrible scenes. And I went and talked to many of my friends who had seen it. They're like, honestly, it's not like that at all. It's not a take your kids to the movies. Not because they show anything graphic. They don't show anything graphic in the whole movie, but because the idea, the concept is kind of dark, right? I mean, you're enslaving kids and selling them, and it's really it's a dark concept. However, it doesn't show anything graphic, and that was one of my big things. I didn't want to go in the movies and see that. And so here are my 3 takeaways after watching it. Number 1 is that how many people talk about slavery? If we talk about slavery, everybody's talking about it, at least here in America. 100 years ago, we talk about Jim Crow laws, the government forcing people to exclude whites and blacks from public areas, right? And even businesses, forcing businesses where they couldn't allow different races in the same business. And it's all in the past, which, yeah, 100% we need to be looking at the past. But also, we need to learn from our past so that we can change the present. And I personally didn't know how many slaves there were here in the world today. Actually, there are more slaves today than at any other period in the history of the world. I had no idea that was the case. The history of the world, more slaves today. Did you know that? I don't think many people know that. I think it's kind of being hidden. I mean, obviously, the people who are enslaving people don't want that to be on the mainstream. Everybody knows that there are tons of slaves, and then law enforcement gets more involved. And I think Donald Trump has had a great impact on letting people know about the slave trade, especially coming across the border into America, but also the people here in America. 40 million people, that's a lot of people, and just being aware of the fact, I think that this movie has done so much good to let people know that this is a major problem. And so that's my first takeaway, is that there is modern day slavery, which, I mean, why did we set up this great land in America? Why did we establish the Declaration of Independence? We want to be independent from being controlled from other nations, and also independent from being controlled from other people, right? We want everybody to have that freedom, okay? Takeaway number 2 is that nothing happens until someone takes action. I remember listening to a talk, I think it was an interview actually, and somebody was talking to Elon Musk about innovation, and he was like, oh yeah, it's so exciting to see all this innovation, and in 50 years it'll be really cool to see where the world is. And Elon Musk stopped him, and basically, I'm paraphrasing, I'm going to read this, but basically I'm paraphrasing. He said, lots of people believe that innovation will just inevitably happen. Innovation doesn't just happen. It takes someone putting in thousands of hours, money, building a great team to create something that didn't exist before. Without that person, nothing new is created. Okay? Which really struck me. I had no idea that. I guess I just took it for granted, right? Innovation just happens. Well, you can take that from a business perspective and say, yeah, innovation in business doesn't just happen. It takes an entrepreneur to go out there and create it. An iPhone didn't just happen. It doesn't, these innovations don't just happen out of thin air because the technology is there. And we've seen it many times where history will progress and it will digress. Look at the Roman Empire. Look at their amazing aqueducts. Look at their amazing monetary system that they created. And they created, and then it started to go down, 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 down. And then they went into what are called the Dark Ages. You know, they're dark for a reason because innovation went down. Okay? Well, same thing here is that somebody has to go out there. One, we have to know that there's a problem. There is modern day slavery. Great. Now that we know that there's a problem. Two, there have to be people willing to go out there and fight the good fight. Go out there and free these kids, free these people, and stop this slavery from going on. Which is why I really respect Tim Ballard in that regard. Is that he's not just saying, hey, there's a problem. He's going out there and he's fighting. He's going and pushing legislation to say, hey, this is a problem. Our government's one of the main reasons and purposes of government is to protect our freedom. And they're trying to do all these other things, trying to control our money, trying to control everything that we do and we say, but you're not actually protecting one of the main things is our freedom to exist, to live not under the control of someone else, not under the slavery of someone else. And they're not doing that at all. And I really respect Tim Ballard for going out and doing that. And it takes individuals to go out there and fight that. And so if you watch this movie, if you watch this video, and you're like, man, that's a fight that I really want to get behind, go out there and start doing your part. Innovation doesn't just happen. Solutions don't just happen. It takes an individual to go and take action. Okay? One last point with that is if you've read the book Atlas Shrugged, you'll know that they did the same thing. They took these entrepreneurs for granted. They just said, oh yeah, things will keep on building and things will keep on growing in our cities, in our country, and we can keep on abusing these entrepreneurs. We can keep on adding more laws and more regulations. Well, finally, the entrepreneurs said, heck, we're done. We're not going to be under this tyranny. We're not going to be enslaved in a way. And so then they left and everything fell apart. You know, and that's what happens if individuals don't take action. And I think this is a huge thing that a lot of people could get behind and take action behind. The third point is that some recent allegations have come out against Tim Ballard, that he's doing this or he's doing that or he's a bad guy. And this isn't the first time, right? We've seen this with many people. We've seen this with Andrew Tate. We've seen it with Donald Trump. We've seen it with many people. I've had it myself where lots of people have said, oh, you're this and you're a crook and you're taking advantage of people. And so people will accuse people. But you know what the great thing is in our Fifth Amendment is that you are innocent until proven guilty. It says it right there in our Bill of Rights. Innocent until proven guilty. And a lot of people today seem to confuse that, and they put the other way around. You are guilty until proven innocent, and you have to prove yourself innocent. And so with Tim Ballard being accused of these things, nothing has been proven. Okay, let's say that things have been proven. Awesome. That's a completely different story. He's been proven guilty. Awesome. But if you haven't been proven of anything, put yourself in his shoes. Put yourself, let's say that would you want or would you like it if somebody accused you of doing something and automatically everybody believed that person and said, oh my gosh, you're such a bad person. I can't believe you did that. You're like, I didn't do it. They're like, well, this person accused you of doing it, so it must be true. Because they just said it. So it must be true. And you're like, it's not true. Nothing's been proven. I haven't done it. And then if in the case that these people are proven guilty, awesome. They've been proven. Now you're guilty. Great. But until you've been proven guilty, you're innocent. And so same with Tim Ballard. I've had many. I just had an incident with several banks where a bank said, this looks like fraudulent activity going on. You changed banks from this bank to this bank. That seems like fraudulent activity. I'm like, I'm not fraudulent. What can I do? Well, then I went on to another bank that I'm dealing with, and then they said, oh wait, it looks like there was fraudulent activity. Another bank marked you as fraudulent. And I said, it wasn't fraudulent. And now all these banks are telling all the other banks, because one bank said it looks like fraudulent activity. Now all these other banks are all telling each other, fraudulent activity, and everybody's just believing it. And now I'm having to prove my case before them, I'm innocent. Whereas nothing has been proven that I'm guilty, right? If I'm guilty, if I'm fraudulent, then awesome. Go ahead and prove it. But don't accept guilty until proven innocent. It's innocent until proven guilty. And those are my 3 takeaways from this movie. I'd love to hear the takeaways that you got from it after watching it. If you haven't watched it, please go ahead, watch it yourself. I'm going to put the link below where you can watch the movie, and love to hear from you.